During the Iraq War, American M1 Abrams tanks took direct hits from rocket-propelled grenades, anti-tank mines, even friendly fire from other tanks. And again, the crew inside walked away. Not hurt. Not even shaken up. How does a 70-ton machine survive hits built to rip through steel like paper? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this tank is almost impossible to kill. Why the M1 Abrams tank is nearly impossible to destroy. The M1 Abrams has been the main battle tank of the US Army since the early 1980s. It's been through 2 wars in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, and countless training exercises around the world. And in over 40 years of use, it has an almost unbelievable survival record. So what's actually going on inside this machine that makes it so hard to destroy? Let's break it down piece by piece. Part 1. The armor that shouldn't exist. Let's start with the obvious thing. The armor. The Abrams uses something called composite armor. Instead of one solid slab of steel, it's built from layers. Steel, ceramic, and other materials are stacked together like a sandwich. Each layer does a different job. Some layers shatter the incoming round. Others absorb the energy. Some are even designed to defeat shaped charges, which is the type of explosive used in most rocket-propelled grenades. Here's the wild part. Nobody outside the US military knows the exact materials used inside that armor. It's one of the most closely guarded secrets in modern weapons technology. Engineers have studied captured pieces and made educated guesses for decades, but the real formula has never been confirmed publicly. Later versions of the Abrams went even further. The Army added a layer of depleted uranium into the armor. Depleted uranium is incredibly dense, far denser than steel. That density helps stop a round from punching all the way through. It's one of the reasons later models became even tougher to crack than the original. So when an RPG hits an Abrams, it's not hitting one wall of steel. It's hitting layer after layer of materials, each one built to stop that exact kind of weapon. Part 2. Why the crew survives even when the tank gets hit. Armor is only half the story. The other half is how the tank is built to protect the people inside, even in a worst-case scenario. Most tank ammunition sits close to the crew. That's normal. The problem is, if a round ever does get through the armor and hits the ammo, it can set off a massive explosion inside the tank. That's actually one of the most common ways older tanks lose their entire crew. The Abrams was built differently. Most of its ammunition is stored in a separate compartment at the back of the turret, away from the crew. And here's the clever part. That compartment has blowout panels built into the roof. If the ammo ever does explode, the blast is designed to blow straight up and out of the tank, instead of into the crew compartment. Think about that for a second. The tank is engineered to survive its own ammunition exploding. That's not something most tanks in history could ever claim. On top of that, the crew compartment is sealed off from the engine and fuel sections. So even if those parts catch fire, the crew usually has time to get out safely. Every part of this tank's layout was built around one idea: keep the humans inside alive, no matter what happens to the machine around them. Part 3. The engine that lets it outrun trouble. Surviving a hit is one thing. But the Abrams is also built to avoid getting hit in the first place, and a big part of that comes down to its engine. Instead of a regular diesel engine, the Abrams uses a gas turbine engine, similar to what you find in a helicopter. This gives it insane acceleration for something so heavy. A 70-ton tank can go from a standstill to over 20 miles an hour in just a few seconds. On the road, it can hit speeds over 40 miles an hour. That speed matters in real combat. A tank that can move fast and react fast is a much harder target to hit cleanly. It can reposition before an enemy gunner even gets a shot lined up. The engine can also run on multiple types of fuel. Diesel, jet fuel, even some types of gasoline in a pinch. In a real war, that flexibility can be the difference between a tank stuck waiting for the right fuel truck, and one that keeps moving no matter what. Part 4. The combat record that proves it. All of this sounds great on paper. But does it actually hold up in real war? During the Gulf War in 1991, American M1 Abrams tanks fought in hundreds of tank battles against Iraqi forces, including tanks considered modern for that era. Not a single Abrams was destroyed by enemy tank fire in that entire war. A few were damaged by mines or by friendly fire from other Abrams tanks, but enemy tank shells simply could not get through. Years later, during the Iraq War that began in 2003, Abrams crews faced a different kind of threat: insurgents using RPGs, roadside bombs, and anti-tank mines. Some tanks were damaged, and a small number of crew members were tragically lost. But the overall survival rate for crews inside Abrams tanks that were hit stayed remarkably high compared to almost any other tank in history. That combat record is exactly why so many militaries around the world still consider the Abrams one of the safest tanks a crew can be inside, even decades after it was first built. So that's the M1 Abrams. Layered armor built from secrets the public still doesn't fully know. Ammunition storage designed to survive its own explosion. An engine fast enough to dodge trouble before it even arrives. And a combat record that backs up every bit of that engineering. If you learned something new today, hit subscribe, because we're breaking down a different piece of military history and equipment every single week. And I want to know what you think. Drop a comment below. What tank, plane, or weapon should we break down next? I read every single comment, so let me know down there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.